Hello, everyone. My name's Yuta Jazz, and today we are going to do another pick a pile. So, only three cards for some reason, but I'm not going to complain. Um, and the reading is Why Do People Love You? Very, very simple, very nice vibes, right? Considering that it is Scorpio season and there's a lot of freaking stuff happening. I don't know. I felt like it would be nice to have nice messages that are uplifting and positive and out of the general norm that we are having currently. Because if you're watching a lot of other readers, you might be noticing that there's like a specific flow of info and messages and trying to get certain people out of hermithood or their own way or stagnation or other things. So there's a lot of like workforce type of energy or a lot of like change and shift and other people are still doing some shadow work, which is also you know, loaded with things and etc. And there's just a lot of stuff happening in terms of relationships too, right? So, yeah, this is going to be a reading about why do people love you. I will be posting a lot more many readings about I don't know, why does spirit love you? Why whatever, love, like different questions about love and you and whatever. Um yeah, so we have pile one, two, three, and pick whichever one you want to, and I'll see you in the pile. Ta-ta. Hello, pile number one. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. So your card is the Four of Swords. I mean, it's coming through as like you're a really good person to kind of vent to and get stuff out and just find some freaking peace with whatever might be bothering people in their mind, in their mental escape. You feel like a very non-judgmental person when it comes to just people like needing to vent and explain what's bothering them or what's happening in their heads, and they really relish that. They really cherish the point that you bring so much peace and you are a trustworthy person to talk to. I feel like you also don't really gossip or share people's stories. Like if you gossip, it's not like actual gossip on a negative term or whatever. You don't really drive it. If you don't need to, you kind of shut it down if you need to. But otherwise than that, it's kind of like you always try and add to people talking about other people in a positive sense that like maintains truth, or you kind of keep it as like don't say anything unless you really would need to, right? Maybe someone needs to be warned about a coworker at work or some other stuff, right? Um, but yeah, you only really go there if you need to, and it's an extreme. Otherwise than that, people are always like sleeping easy after have had like a day with you that where they were just talking about their problems and maybe even just secrets and whatever. They know that you're real with it. Like they know that you are balanced, that you don't really have judgmental energy or thoughts, that you don't really want to change people. You just want to be there to be like company and to be an approachable space and place that people can really be themselves and like, just kind of vibe with that. At points, I'm feeling that maybe some of you did not appreciate this because it's kind of like everyone was coming to your doorstep or everyone was drawing on your energy. Some of you know this as a skill and now have started to use it in a different light. You've started to really understand the deeper meaning and importance of it, and that that's not all that you are. That's not your life, that's not your responsibility, and that some people might take this whole experience out of hand and make it one-sided, and others do respect it enough to like literally be there for you at a drop of like a hat. They are going to be as available to you for help as you were to them. It's just going to translate in different ways. I feel like so you listen to someone's problems, they make it easier for you to travel around, or maybe like they are really well sorted abundance wise and monetarily, and they don't mind helping you out with some things every few months or every few weeks, right? Like they don't mind lending you some money or whatever it is. And yeah, it started transforming for you at some point on how this works for you in your life, because I feel like as a talent, this is gonna stay with you and for people for a while. It's just kind of not going to go away, but that doesn't mean that it has to be a thing that's one-sided or lopsided or just uneven and imbalance for you that causes harm or heartache, right? People can figure out their own problems as well. People can sort out whatever communication stuff they need to or relationship stuff they need to actually like do this in a way that's good or healthy, right? And at the end of the day, like you aren't the only person on the planet. You're also not the only person in everyone's life. If you are the only person that everyone just can talk to and that's you, right? Then you understand that that kind of isn't kosher. It's not cool. You don't like it. There's problems with that for you. So, yeah, interesting vibes. Let's get some more tarot. I heard that this is reversed, which I feel like it's just talking to the point of you being quite honest. And yet again, also is coming back a little bit to the energy of other people. Um, of other people kind of, trying to get away with more than they've done or given. Yeah, you if you haven't went through a journey of like rebirth and coming out on your own and kind of using this ability to express your own freedom and experience it, right? Th- Like to just tune into your contentment, tune into your peace, tune into your love, tune into whatever your emotional stability and confidence is, right? If you haven't done that yet, you are going to do that this lifetime at some point. You are probably working up to it if you're seeing this reading as well. And for some of you, you've just done it. This is a confirmation, and everyone else can kind of figure out where you're at with this if you want to. Um, but yeah, you've really like put the lies down on, hey, I'm not really supposed to be here for everyone's mental or emotional well-being. I'm not supposed to be here for everyone's support. I'm not supposed to be here for your benefit. Like I have my own life to live, and if it's uncomfortable for you, that's a you problem you gotta freaking deal with, right? Um, I feel like a lot of you are going to live a completely different life with this energy of being such a good listener, such a good advocate, such a good like care, nurture, support person, even just in a masculine sense, not just feminine. Wherever you are, however you do this, whatever your energy is, it is beloved. And even if you disconnect and detach from the people that you've been like really closely tied to, I think the love of this isn't going to go away. If those people are going to have a problem, I think they had a codependent or maybe even addictive kind of cycle with you that is not good and not healthy, right? And so their love was also conditional because of that. It's like if you don't listen and you're not there for me, then I'm not going to be friends with you, or I'm not going to be a supportive parent or family member or whatever. I'm not gonna be there for you just because of that. Then, you moving off and away and finding new people, or even not finding new people that are going to be as close as they were, just, being around people, you are going to be received, loved, and appreciated for you being you and you exercising your own comfort and freedom and faith without needing to be this person, without giving into this energy of like, I somehow always end up being the person that everyone trusts for these things, but never really receiving it. Top and bottom as well. Yeah, so you guys might have had like a whole experience in history. I feel like that has to kind of, it doesn't need to be here, but if judgment reversed with all of these cards up here means anything to anyone, take it for what it is. I do think it's closing out as an energy. I don't think this is really a problem or present, except for maybe a few of you. Um, but yeah, you might have had a journey where this wasn't apparent that this is like loved of you, that you are so you're such a rock, but you don't need to be a constant rock for other people. It's just like, that strength, that personality, that character, that authenticity of you is magnetic, is lovable, is attractive. It, even if you don't really give into actually helping and people and listening to their things, right? You being around, you being anywhere, you just minding your own business, really can come up to the point of like inspiring strangers or inspiring other people that can just see you being that type of person, and they're like, oh, it's nice to see that there's someone like this, because that means that there's more of them. There's more of this like vibe. There's more of this energy of like I can maybe even start giving into it, or like I can start trying to be a better listener, or trying to be a person that other people can trust, or getting over my own issues when it comes to how I communicate, what I do, how I'm like hot and cold or something, right? And how I can really transform and possibly have a completely different life about it, like who knows, maybe it'll end up or flow easily or better, just because I've become this person, right? Like maybe that's why they can keep going out and having this comfortable emotional experience, or this comfortable life, or just being satisfied with themselves and not being down, right? Maybe I can do that too. But yeah, you might have had people that really used you, put you down, made you feel confused about who you were and what you were about, and they made you feel like you can't take the next thing that's coming up to you, because that means that you're leaving everyone else in the rubble. And that wasn't ever true. You were always supposed to go out of like this energy, become your own person, and really enjoy yourself for the star that you are, for the impact that you are, for the significance that you hold in other people's lives, right? And to not be bamboozled about that, to not be confused or to be gaslighted or manipulated, or like there's this feeling of like people in this pile have really had other people kind of like coax them and move them to this space of feeling confused and like they don't know anything, and like they can't get out of it, they can't move forward, they will get lost, it's dangerous, stay here, it'll be safer, it's better for you, you already have a place here, you have a part, right? Why would you want to leave? And say, well, because you're the star. You're the star going on the fool's journey, to ultimate like satisfaction and confidence of self, right? And just like vibing with that and being an authority figure in your own life without having to give that power away to other people and making them feel better, right? Because then you're just dancing like that around others, never really experiencing the awesomeness that you are, and maybe even actually downplaying it. um, the other problem that you guys could have like been facing is really is being like really stuck in anxiety, and even maybe health issues or pains would come from that anxiety, because it feels very severe here. It kind of feels like it's not panic attacks, but it's kind of close. It's like that anxiety you constantly like cope with, and because of that eventually like the coping turns into actually like, oh, emotional pains in the body, or even health issues or other stuff. And yeah, some of you might have been dealing with like a lot of anxiety issues, pain, um, just in general, maybe even like sleep issues, severe sleep issues like insomnia, sleep paralysis, or nightmares that then feed into it. And there's another aspect of like having a lot of stress here of things not working out and the things you like not coming in, the stability you seek not actually coming in, you being self-sustainable, right? That not seeming like an option, that not seeming like a thing. Like it's not available to you, but it's available to everyone else, and so you got to be this person so you can kind of have like a community around you to keep yourself secure and safe and to keep going forward. And while you're doing all of this and experiencing all of this, you also need to argue your stance, your strength, your opinion. You got to keep constantly kind of like fending people away with the fucking stick because they are opinionated, confrontational. They're trying to get their way with you in terms of the mind, like in terms of opinions or being seen as right, or maybe even overpowering you. There's definitely a lot of confidence issues coming from these people that really wanted you to be that adversary for them, that had that like toxic, confrontational way of communicating, connecting, and expressing themselves. And all of them really actually knew what they were doing. I think they just thought they can get away with it because you were so nice. And it's like, no, they couldn't get away with it, and they're kind of gonna get their own problems because the reason they loved you, this was also the reason they kind of used you, which then, pushed you to this new beginning, this new way of doing things, pushed you to getting out of one social environment and community into a completely different new one and seeking that out for yourself because that's the thing that'll actually make you happy instead of being stuck with the people that mistreat you and then say it's fine and okay because this is how life or whatever works, and they're not even a big part of really like life. There's 8 billion of us in a huge like freaking global planet. They're just a small aspect, right? And they're kind of making it about them, ignoring you when you're just as much of an important part, especially to them, because you literally are like the sunshine, the sunbeam, the person that makes it all okay, the one that drives it forward, the driving force behind, emotional conversations, social gatherings, community excitement vibes, even events just being fun. Even if you don't do a lot or you're not feeling a lot of fun there, if you show up, the event is gonna feel better and more interesting to people than if you weren't there. You're such a powerful energy and integral part, and it is a case of like some of these people very consciously use that to their benefit, knowing like, if you got a chance to feel confident enough and free, you would frolic away and leave us be. And we can't have that because this is how we'll feel if you go away. Because some of this Nine of Swords energy is you, but a lot of it is other people. It's their problems, it's their issues, it's their projections, and also it is their energy either being presently around you as like, a manifestation or a spirit or an aspect of a spirit, right? Or it's literally them kind of just energetically having their crap in your energetical house, is the best way I can explain it. If you're into spirituality, mysticism, or have any type of practice in the astral, you kind of can understand what I mean here. You really do feel it. Um, and if you don't, if you're just a person that's like, not really into it, but you read tarot, you see or watch videos or read even tarot yourself just for the point of like maybe mental or emotional support of some sort or just self-discovery, right? Um, yeah, I would recommend looking into or just, being more conscious and aware, not necessarily researching it, depending on who you are, of how people's energy can stay or be around us if we're still connected to them, communicating to them, or even if we're distanced, right? That there might be like a energy bubble somewhere that we accidentally energetically might be holding, or that they might be like sending over leaving with us or even projecting continuously as an energetical stream. Connections with people hold space, basically, and there's many different ways of how that can happen. So it could be interesting and entertaining for you to look into it. and to figure out how that affects you if you're still going through that, or if you don't want to repeat this, honestly. I think that is everything. Thank you so much for being a part of this reading. Thank you for clicking on the video. Um, if you want to share your story or show some support by just, the usual like comments, likes, and subs, I really appreciate that. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine. I also have a link tree down below that has my other social media stuff, and I also stream on Twitch and do live readings if you're interested in that. If not, it might be just chatting about metaphysics, philosophy, spirituality, or gaming, even if you want to have a light entertainment evening. But we still go about spirituality and philosophy there. I get a lot of questions while I'm gaming, and we talk about certain things like how to see your guides, how to connect better with them, who are they, why is it so confusing, astral experiences, like spiritual healing. There's a bunch of like nice convos we get to that are more of a personal light and direct on there as well. So yeah, hope to see you at some point. Again, thank you and have a good time. Have a good one. Bye bye. Hello, pile number two. How ya doing? Let's get right into it. So you have the King of Pentacles. This doesn't feel like the usual quick King of Pentacles. So people love you for the point of not being biased. Like you do have opinions, you have like emotions, you have ways of how you hear things. You have a bunch of like, normal stuff that all we humans and people have, but the way you approach people like sharing their truth is really it's kind of like the like first message, but it's different in a lot of ways because I feel like both pilots do somewhat of the same thing or are loved for kind of like the same reason, but they do it a different way, or it's a different vibe, it's a different category, it's a different color. So people appreciate you that you are like a ground stable influence. You're not really like whip waffy. You don't, fluctuate between severe extremes that outbalance everyone else. You are quite calculated or planned. Like I don't I don't think you have a huge problem with being a bit spontaneous occasionally or if the vibe is really right, but ultimately I think you prefer having time to decide things, get into it, and kind of just be like present about what next actions to take, what's happening, what communication is happening. Because you like the stability of life. You like keeping things like settled or sorted, and being aware of like let's say your resource management, right? Or if people are gonna have a way to like be sorted out as well. So let's say you're on a night out, you were at a restaurant, and everyone wants to continue on and do something, and that wasn't expected for you. You'll talk about it to see where everyone is at, where does everyone want to go, what are the options. Then you're gonna check if everyone's like okay with the money situation, right? Getting taxis, continuing like maybe up to a bar or otherwise or even just going to a movie and like are we all gonna have enough like money? Is everyone gonna go back home safe? Like even if you don't really enforce that strongly like a parent, right? You just have this vibe of like being a secured influence that makes things pan out in a much more grounded, concise, and like healthy way all around. And besides that, when people communicate to you. This is the part that also was in pile number one, but you guys are somehow different with it. Um, You're a very grounded, practical person when you listen to people talk, even if you are believing what they're saying, let's say either in spiritual or otherwise terms, you really, whether you're believing it or not believing it, you like being the influence of being not non-biased, non-judgmental, being a grounded force that looks at the practical side of things and letting it be for what it is, but then because you're reacting that way or being that type of vibe or person, it really helps other people come back from looping, being overly up in their head, overly up in their emotions, overly up in the fantasy, whatever it is that they might be over indulging in when whatever they're going through, they're talking about with you, they feel like they can discharge whatever that amp and energy is, and they can really connect with, like touch grass, um, really kind of start like thinking on their feet, having their head on their shoulders, kind of like come back to reality from it, and also let it all out. Like actually let it all out, let it go, give it over to the universe. Because it kind of feels like if someone's talking to you, there's a really, just because of that grounded practical energy we were talking about, it feels like you act like a grounding agent, like in electricity, right? You have like those special wires and coils and whatever else, like. But as a person, you almost like help people facilitate the thing of like they're very physically directly expressing this energy, and it is actually going out because they're touching grass, because they're centered, because they need to come from a place that's kind of like giving clarity because of your aura and vibe, and it's so direct that literally the things they're talking about actually leave their energy. It doesn't loop, it doesn't, get stuck or sticky or whatever or amped. It really goes because it's kind of like very direct step, 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 and the energy's out because you made this whole like bubble of, thought, very direct, practical, very present moment, grounded, like conversation experience, and it actually did release it. It actually let it go. There wasn't any confusion around it. And I am getting here some energy of like you do have some type of like judgment on things, not in a bad thing. We all, have judgment or need to judge things at some point just to like for ourselves say like, oh yeah, I'm vibing with this. No, I'm not vibing with this. This isn't the judgment where it's like nitpicking and nagging at everyone and criticizing. This is more like calling things for what they are and just being real with it, right? Saying like a spade is a spade, a rat is a rat, a love is a love. Like you are a person that's very, even if you're sometimes wrong, because I think sometimes you've noticed like your opinions come into the play and it really goes off. Even then, you weigh it out really well and you say it in a way that is just sharing information and chatting and talking. You don't really want your judgments to impact other people. You're learning from them as much as you are like giving guidance or providing guidance. And you understand you're not always right, but sometimes saying the thing that's wrong from a pure loving place, right? From a full heart is better than to hold it back for the reason of like being worried of other people's opinions or just even being wrong in the first place and that going out of hand with people. Because of your vibe and energy and aura, you've noticed that when you're wrong, people receive it in a positive enough way to be like, okay, so like this isn't something I vibe with, but it was constructive. Somehow it was conclusive information and it was good to mention because now it's out. Whereas other times it's like, fuck, they really told me truth. They really like I can trust them to be like that point of honesty, like and to hold their ground and have their foot down. You're also analytical. You're also analytical. Let's get some tarot shuffling while I'm finishing this channel. You're also quite analytical slash logical. You're a person that likes maybe math or something to do with specific info and data. You might appreciate National Geographic, science. You like things being systematic or planned, or there being a routine or a schedule, because it just makes things flow easier for you. Um, you might like even like you might like games that are more like tactical, turn-based, card-oriented management games. Like you might like games that you can take your own pace in. um if they're not that, like they still take their pace, or there's something about them where it's kind of like you can flow with the game in the manner that you could like if you were playing some type of management game, or if you could like take your pace with it, right? Or yeah, you don't mind other types, but I think that kind of feels like the energy with this. Okay, so you're really working towards a perfection of some sort. You're working towards emotional clarity, you're working towards a good community vibe, you're working towards some type of home environment as well as a dream achievement. You know that all of this is going to take a while. You know you go through many different emotional experiences, ups and downs and stages to get to this, feeling that you want to have. Um, and it's very apparent to other people that you are a person that's kind of like well sorted. You have enough money, you have good food, you have a good home, you have a good like partner or partnership or community, and you look after that and you stay within that energy, and it is important to you and it is your thing. That's really weird. I saw a thing dash right in front of me. I'm not quite sure what that was. I was trying to tune in and I can't, and I don't know. If it resonates for you somehow, then it does. I don't know, seeing things that are astrally there, like dashing forms, kind of like lights moving, but it's kind of just like more of a see-through thing or a form moving, right? Or a bit of energy, maybe flashing lights, maybe shadows, maybe weird energy curves at the edge of your eyes. Just like weird visual experiences. You might be a person that experiences that if you know, if you're into spirituality or not. I don't think it matters if you're into it or not. I think either way you have something with your third eye and crown happening where you are just receptive about that stuff. Some of you only really experience it when you're drunk and you think that that's just you being drunk, and it's like, no, no, no. The drunkenness takes away your inhibitions enough for you to start seeing all of that. And you don't believe it, but you don't need to believe it to experience and see it. You just need to have an openness, which being under the influence of anything can create that, which is another reason, be careful with that. But yeah, you're ultimately a person that really strives for peace. If something's wrong, you really kind of cut it fucking out, and you're like, no, we're going to the peace of it. No, we're going to the good vibes. No, we're doing stuff that is actually like important for mental stability, well-being, for emotional health, and for me to just feel fucking peaceful. Like you really don't like feeling out of whack, or like you're losing it, or like something is happening out of your control, or something is trying to mess with your energy. Might it be people, energies, or other things? You are not okay with it. And you instantly, like, as soon as you see it, you go for it and you sort it. I don't know why I felt like saying this, but for the people that are still confused, the first and second piles are not the same. The only part that was the same was the communication thing that people trust talking to you, but even then, the way, the reason, and why is completely different. So, if you want to learn more about why people trust you to talk to you, go to pile one. And if you don't really mind or care too much about hearing that in depth, then you don't need to go to pile number one. It literally is either just an expansion on that one point or there's some other message for you there, but even then you'll know. Otherwise, you're getting everything you need from this reading and you don't need to watch two piles. Go use your 20 minutes somehow else, like go have fun, go work out, go meditate, go have a walk around some nice trees and maybe in a park. Have a tea, have a cocoa. I'm just checking because the energy is interesting. Like I don't know, I feel like some things are happening with my guides while I'm doing this reading, which is quite intriguing. Let's do three. Oh my God, really? Wow. King of Pentacles and King of Pentacles. Well, that's fucking something. And the fucking Emperor. My God. What the fuck? This group is hella reliable. This group finds their way through the mystery. This group always knows what needs to be done when the time comes up to it. Like, it doesn't matter that you can't see the forest through the trees, you feel that you need to move through whatever it is for you to get there. And you know how to do it. You know how to take your time with it. You know how to set your authority forward. You know how to make a solid foundation for anything you want to become a reality of yours. Confusion doesn't stop you. And I think some of you kind of started appreciating the mystery of it all. I think you like the unknown. Others of you just knew that you can thrive through it, but it was kind of annoying because you do like being like kind of aware of things. You're like you like having the feeling that you at least are aware of the road through the mystery. But others of you realize you can't control life. You can't do everything like the way you really want to. Sometimes it's a case of like employing certain disciplines, values, or just a way of life that is going to take step after step, right? And eventually it's going to like make things make sense or come to or whatever. And it always was like a testament to you of like, I'm very capable. Things sometimes take slower, but I can do anything. I can create anything. I have this huge driving force. I have like a lot of energy to create, do maintain things and to really invest in them when I need to actually build them. This pile has worked a lot in terms of moving. You might have moved a lot, you might have moved unexpectedly and went through adversity to actually do that move. You might have actually had a lot of work cut out for you. Like maybe you worked a lot of overtime, maybe you worked a lot of jobs, maybe you worked a lot of like long shift jobs. Maybe, every single job you've had is a 12-hour shift thing and it's like 4 days on, 4 days off or something. Like maybe you were always the person that held up all of the households you were in, or you were somehow a main aspect and contributor to households running, financially or materialistically in general. And if it's not materialistically, and somehow it's like maintaining the domestic life. So, yeah. And that can then translate into anything. But it is kind of like a maintaining and a cultivating of domestic life, and then like basically like building your fortress up or building your home up and then making it lavish. Right? I just feel like this constant movement energy of like there's no limit to me. I can keep getting better and better and better and improving and expanding. And I do it through action. I do it through intent. I do it through carrying out these things and steps that other people a lot of the time get over thoughtful about and then just analysis paralysis persists. But for you, it's kind of like you know how to keep yourself away from that. You know that that is a dangerous place to be in for you because it's better to just then just do it. Like just get into it, just do it. This is the next step. I'll go do it. This is gonna be annoying and there's so much work to be done, but I'm the emperor. I'm the king. I can do it. This is my way of doing it. Yeah, you just get stuff done. You're very freaking reliable. You're a person that has worked a lot to have the money, the resources, the home that you have, or to live in the country or the place that you live in. You are a person that can maintain your interests or workflow regularly as a schedule and really make leeway there. Like you always have some type of like inflow, profit or input or yeah, input, there we go, towards the things that you're making, creating, or the little steps that are leading you to whatever your ultimate thing is, which I think that isn't clear to you, but you like the process of figuring it out anyway, because it's kind of like the thing itself has changed, life has changed, your acuity, right, in this king and emperor energy has changed, and you've really like understood like, oh, I can take these steps and it's gonna be fine and I'm going to learn through them. I'm going to get something out of them. And even if I don't know the destination, this present moment experience is going to be much more better, much more stable, much more enjoyable, and happy for me to get to whatever the last cup is going to be that's actually going to have good vibes for me, that's actually going to make me feel better. That's actually going to be like that end goal or end point I never expected to get or to go to. It just kind of happened. I think that's everything. Yeah, I'm hearing that there's nothing left. That we're good. Yeah, I would also recommend for this pile, tune into or read or research or whatever the symbology and the archetypes of the King of Pentacles and the Emperor and how that resonates to your or what it means to you as a card and a symbol as whatever the meaning is for you deeper. Like, don't take it off Google, don't take it off the books. Like, yeah, like look into that, read it and research it, but really study what your energy or truth of the King of Pentacles is. What is your personal connection to this like Emperor energy? How are you personally like exhibiting it at all times? And why is that a core strength of you that isn't just, you know, supportive or gets results, but like why is it so lovely? Why is it something to be loved? Why do people why do you love it, right? Because I think you know that people appreciate this, but like the point of like why the love aspect is kind of dry here. I'm gonna be honest and real. It's kind of like there's so much focus on the energy of like doing, creating, getting results in pentacles and everything that you're not seeing how great you are through it. My throat, damn. And you are really quite something special, I have to say, because like not everyone can be this energy because it's not with all of this, you would assume that this has a lot of like confrontational, rigid energy or whatever, right? Because there's so much of it, but it's kind of like no, 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 no. This is like Emperor vibes with also King of Pentacles cube, well, not cube, squared. Um, it's kind of like not everyone shows up like this, but also not everyone has this inherently, and not everyone could handle this type of energy. And it's not just like a practical, useful thing. It is something beautiful of you. It's something really pretty. It inspires other people to kind of get into their Venus energy, which is kind of interesting because we have so much, divine masculine and masculine energy here. Um, but I feel like you help other people just understand like I can look after myself too. I can take things slow and they'll work out and it'll be okay, and I can trust myself to do the movements that I need when I'll need them. Um, you're a comfort and an inspiration to some people, and there's a lot of reasons why they love you from this energy, but I hope this has kind of like explained it better or shown some of this to you. And yeah, I hope you share share your story in the comment section, because I would be interested to hear about this. And if not, that's fine too. You can, press whatever buttons below you want to support me. And if anything, there's also a link tree where you can check out my Twitch streams, um, or whatever else. So yeah. Thank you for like having this reading and sharing your energy. I really appreciate it. Um, Lovely vibes. Very, very, very good. Yeah, very good stuff. So, yeah. Peace. Hello, pile number three. So I'm gonna warn you, this is a reversal, but let's check it out and see what comes through. Page of Cups. Whew, so much is coming through. Oh, damn. I just got so much like emotion into my higher heart and I don't know, just like a ring around my neck started releasing a lot of energy. And it's a good feeling, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, yeah, my this energy feels really good, really nice. It's giving me like nice shivers. You can't see it, but I am literally getting like nice shivers all across like my arms and my shoulders and just down my spine. And it's like I can breathe better. Like it's such a good energy release. My crown is like tingling a little bit, like it's so nice. Okay, let's get into this. Um, I think here are people that have went through a lot and have come out better and being these like magnificent examples of how to just like take your own life and fucking go with it, whatever it throws at you, whatever it is, however you need to go through it, whatever you need to accept to be comfortable getting through your own life or loving yourself or gaining that experience or maybe even getting into it. Go for it, do it. Doesn't matter how young you are, doesn't matter how many mistakes you're gonna make, doesn't matter how much adversity you're going to need to face. None of that matters. Doesn't matter how many people are going to tell you that you're naive, stupid, or other things. Go for it, accept it, lean into it, and let it bring you wisdom and just go there. Like, don't take the meek approach to things. But the thing is, like, you got this because you were also kind of like running into things or getting into things or having these emotional. I feel like in general you're an emotional person, but there's also like a passion behind those emotions or with those emotions of like there's a way forward, there's a road to feeling good and happy. There's a way of being free in self-expression and just living your life. There's a way to get through into something that matters and is not just superficial, like I'm gonna deal with this shit because like there's nothing else better in life. You really don't like that approach that life is a single thing and nothing ever good happens. You understand the hardship and the difficulty of coming out of that and living through a life of trying to prove that otherwise, even just yourself. But like you also understand how important it is to just do it. An example I have is like a person that went for their dreams and it never really worked. They had a lot of like crap told to them, and then eventually, after going through like a breaking down of life, right? Like things aren't happening, everything's stagnant, there's no people around. You're not going for your dreams because you don't feel comfortable anymore. You just went out like of a huge period of hibernation, isolation, or other things that could have lasted years, right? And you're seeing the light of everything that happened and understanding of like I need to go forward. Like I can have this, I can make this. Like now I just know what I don't like, how to not do it, how to not go around it, but it doesn't mean that thing I wanted or the thing that I wanted was wrong. The approach I had was learning, like it was actually like honing me. I thought it was the road taking me to there, but actually it was the road leading me to understanding this on a deeper level and to committing to this ambition and drive of mine even more and knowing that it's coming from the right place and then not having it supercharged with all of the other stuff surrounding it, right? Like people's opinions, I don't know, the social dynamics of where you live, the economical climate, the fashion climate, whatever it is, right? Like not being held down or held back by societal expectations or norms just because, everyone's like arguing that to you. You also lost someone really important during this experience. How you lost them, I don't know. I'm not here for. I think everyone has lost their own person there in a different way. Might it be a friend they fell out of a relationship with? It was really bad or a big loss. Whether it was a family member passing or something, or maybe even an animal. Animals are a big fucking thing for people. They can be like family and everything or your best friend. So whatever it is, you lost someone that was important to you that really made your life better and more fun and matter and have more meaning within it. And it really shook you. It really upset you that out of all of the good things that you had, that was the one that went away. Oh, my eyes. I'm getting teary-eyed, guys. I'm gonna need a moment. Oh, I'm sorry for your loss. Sending a lot of love. Yeah, it got better after that, but you never really kind of got over the point of how much it shocked you and what it felt like. I think there was just a lot with it. Being this person that really like shows up, right? And wears their heart on their sleeve and looks to the better feelings in life and to better experiences and just love. It really felt unfair. If it felt like a punishment from the universe, it felt like something that you didn't need to go through, but you still did, and something that really affected you deeply. There's been things that didn't affect you as deeply, but this one did. Okay, let's get into some oracle cards. Oh shit! Well, at least it's getting to the sun. That's good. Some of y'all are Earth Angels and you didn't know up until now. Some of y'all already know that you're Earth Angels and you kind of sometimes hate it. Like, why? I would like to just have a normal experience. Why the heck am I having this? Oh, it's because I'm an Earth Angel. Well, that's crap. Can I take away the things I signed up for or the duties I said I'll do or whatever else it is? Like, can I just not? And it's like, Next lifetime, you can relax, chill out, and have all the fun you want, but this lifetime, you did sign up for it, and it is important, and it is going to be done and over with, and it's a good idea to go through like what you agreed to do with higher realms slash your guides and otherwise, because if you discontinued that right now, you'd feel way worse than you did. You'd feel like you lost direction, passion, you don't feel like yourself, everything's kind of fucking weird. Like it just wouldn't really add up. And if you're not really a person that resonates with the energy of like angelics or earth angels or, whatever that is, then you have a lot of spiritual protection and guidance, either from guardian angels or your spirit team or your passed down ancestors or all of them in general, right? There's just a lot of like soul energy in spirit that is like really caring, loving, protecting of you, and there's a feeling of home with that too. Birds of a feather is really coming through really, really strongly. And like, yeah, this doesn't really show up everywhere. This got reaffirmed in yeah, this is like a really strong energy in your reading here currently right now. Very strong energy. So, you might want to look into your life path number because that has some like secrets on like what your life purpose or destiny is. There's also a life destiny number, right? Numerology has a lot of answers for you, is how it's coming across. Check those things out because it will help you accept where you're at and who you are with the journey that you have being down here. Ultimately, it is leading you towards abundance and good vibes and feelings and even being in love with the life, but also with someone. All of this is leading you somewhere really important. But the way to do it is not to expect it to be just something that comes up in your life as you're going through it, to not expect it to be something that just lands in your lap, but to understand and accept that the more you show up in the world, the more you live your best life, the more you go out of your comfort zone to experience the things you really want to have and the feelings you really want to have, right? Because going out of your comfort zone, I feel sometimes gets lost in translation or a bit confused, and there's different ways of how to do it, right? But this is like going out of the limitations of your day to day or the life you've made for the reasons of it works or it's secure or other things, right? And going into the things that are a bit daring and scary because they really interest you, they matter to you, they're quirky, they're personal, just like vibe. And it's something scary to do, but you love it, you care of it, or you want to do it. You're thinking a lot about it, maybe even obsessing, right? And it's kind of like jumping into doing it, trying it anyway, going out of your comfort zone to like a thing that you want to experience. That's it. And the more you're going to show up as who you really are, what your interests are, how you feel about life, being outspoken, being very also like firm about it. I don't want to say like stubborn or blunt or confrontational. I think you've had enough of that in your life. I think you just know how to be firm and hold your boundaries and not have people fucking cross them over, and then how to turn them around and have them fuck their own shit over if they try crossing your boundaries or telling you how it is or whatever it is. Like, yeah, you're very colorful. You do stand out. You're noticed and seen by everyone in anywhere you go or do. I guess not as much maybe the street, but like if you attend class, if you go to work, if you have clients, whatever, like you stand out to them. You really make an impression, and you're seen as special by a lot of people. A lot of people. And you are making it towards your dreams come true, but you're the person that's going to make it. You're gonna it's kind of like a part of your life path and destiny is to be the that evidence to yourself that I didn't need to do really anything besides not hold myself back and keep going forward being 100% me towards the direction that I really desire, and not downplaying it, not saying like negative things about myself, and not saying that I'm not worth it, or it's not going to happen, or the world doesn't work that way, or it's just not meant to be, or whatever it is. It's kind of like you're not going to get you are born to experience this dream, but it's going to come in the way of like you magically make it create itself around you, and you then kind of are like flabbergasted, but you get the point. And other people would get confused, but you instantly click on like, oh my God, this whole fucking thing was about me literally just stepping out, saying what the fuck I mean, showing up the way I mean, buying the clothes I like, right? Whatever it is for you, driving that weird colored car. I don't know why that came in, but decorating my house in the most wackiest of way, regardless of how like it might sell after that, or how my guests or family is gonna see me for it, like, or how much it's gonna cost, like, right? Like, not being stopped by conventional ideas or means, and just challenging that norm within yourself. I don't think you need to go fight society. I think you've seen that well enough, and you being this really kind of cracks society apart or open anyway, especially people. It cracks people open, but I think it's just for you. It's literally you liberating yourself out of the limitations that have been imprinted onto you because of you being born in this world, and maybe having a certain upbringing, or having to study and work in certain institutions that have really been trying to like box this in, um, either intentionally or unintentionally, right? Like, you will see so many beautiful, great, and amazing things happen if you just like step out and uncensor yourself and say, "Fuck it, we ball. Fuck it, balls to the wall. I'm gonna be who I am. I'm gonna do this, and it's gonna be fine, and it'll be freaking amazing." So, yeah, drum on the bottom, which is exactly that energy. It's finding your it's finding your voice, it's finding your impact, it's finding your punch and your strength and your flavor and your style. Like the thing, right, that is you, that is your instrument of your soul, of your expression, of your being. Finding that, or just naturally like vibing that, and making the most out of it, showing up with it, making noise, making music, making sounds and waves, and just standing firm in that, standing strong, looking to your own experience and gaining whatever wisdom and knowledge you need or you have from it, or just whatever like your spirit and soul needs, right? Taking in the pleasure and the beauty and the amazement of it, while maybe expanding on your talents. And for those like Earth Angel, whatever, vibes, fucking spreading your wings and flying, showing up as who you were supposed to be all your life, as who you incarnated. This magical quality of you is super attractive to people, and they love you for it and they adore you for it, but you've had strifes and struggles because what is loved of you is your life journey that has been full of challenges, difficulties, and hardship, because you were always like you were making even more out of it. You were literally honing it to its perfection so you can really vibe into it and feel it and be authentic and uncensored about your true core expression, who you really are, who you always have been, who you were always born to be, who you agreed to be before you came down here. And if you never felt like that, I mean, I'm sorry. If you have anything you're resonating with in this pile, then that's true regardless of what you think. I don't know why that needed to come through, but it needed to come through. You have chosen this. This isn't happening against your will to you. This is happening for you with your decisions and choices in play. Maybe not all the details, right? But mostly the essence of it, the point of it is all agreed on, and you are not a victim or a slave to your circumstances. You're a very unique individual and person that has went through a difficult life experience and journey to get this in and out of them, but also to really find your own baseline within yourself, to really like never lose it ever again. Never hide it, never compartmentalize it or break it down into pieces, just like ultimately embodying it, being it. And these experiences were meant, and they did already do this, build up this power and amazing awesomeness of you to really push you out the fucking door towards the sun, towards actually like not hiding away, dressing how you really want to dress, saying what you really want to say, going for those things you really like and appreciate and love. Yeah, because previously you were too afraid to go towards it. And even now, I think a lot of you are figuring out how to flow forward instead of holding yourself back. I think it's a really hard nook and cranny or nuance in how you're experiencing it. And it's like, I do want to go and do this, and I'm looking at it, but I keep like, as I walk, my legs are like doing a weird thing, like they kind of don't stand straight. They kind of just go all over the place. But you're doing it. This is the way you come back to it. If you've not really been this comfortably or constantly or just naturally like letting yourself, be free with this feeling, then it's gonna feel awkward when you need to consciously do it. It's kind of like walking, I guess you could say, but also breathing. But breathing isn't that great of a thing. What Imagine whatever thing that you automatically could be doing naturally, right, within either your body or expression or whatever, and then you cut it down because you think it's bad, it's wrong, right? And then you start doing it again, and you need to consciously start doing it because you've cut it off and down so much and held back yourself so much that now it's kind of like you need to do the other opposite extreme action of bringing it out, which is consciously stepping into it and it being like this awkward thing. Riding a bike, right? I guess you could say, like, if you, let's say, learned how to ride a bike, then you forgot how to ride a bike. It was like 50 years gap and you came back to riding a bike and then you needed to relearn or be conscious about holding your balance and you're like very shaky, right? But you are doing it. You're just kind of like maybe slower or you don't do really sharp turns or you stop at certain angles or certain paths because you know that like you're not easy on it and you might fall down, but like you always could have just like been doing it automatically and you'll be fine. I don't think that's the greatest or best of examples, but I don't know, I'm having a tough time. I'm drawing actually a blank. I usually have infinite options and possibilities for goddamn examples, and this one is escaping me, but I think you guys can figure that one out. I feel like, it'll make sense somehow. It'll make sense. Okay, so I thought it was done, but it's not quite done. We have one, two cards to come out from the Monster Garden Oracle deck, and we are going to see what we get. I think it'll be just like a confirmation closing message or card for us. I heard three off the top. QR code is kind of sticking out here for me. Yeah, this lifetime was always supposed to lead you towards this experience and breaking out of your shell and really realizing what all of this has meant and what it means and where it leads you. Some of you were always meant to realize you're an earth angel and that your true expression, you just being yourself, not doing anything particular, just existing here, was the whole fucking point all along. You having your experience here is the whole reason you incarnated, and that's why Spirit wanted you here, because that's the thing that really is important. And people will put you down, but you'll break through it and you'll end up at your sun. That was always the point of it, the journey of it. You weren't at all gonna get away from it. It was just impossible. That's just not how neither energy nor people down here work. All right, so lucky. Mm-hmm. Yep, yep, yep. That's just like that's fucking literally what it is. Some people might try and get you off your game, but they're gonna fuck up. That cannonball they'll shoot at you is gonna shoot right back at them. But you are lucky. You are gonna get this thing. The universe is conspiring with you to get this done. There's so much work in the ether and the spirit realm happening for you right now. Like don't run away. Recess, rest and rediscovery. The time for that is over. You need to start stepping out. You need to start stepping out. You need to start showing up. You need to start getting out of your comfort zone again and coming back into your vibe. Yeah, it's not gonna be the Page of Cups. Yeah, it's not gonna feel like how it used to feel, but this new level of it is literally like the maturing from the Page of Cups to a whole new experience that's gonna be happy, that's gonna bring you joy more so than ever before. And all of that like controversy you experienced previously, all of it is gonna go. But stop holding yourself back saying like I don't have energy, I'm not ready, I'm not good enough, the time is not right. Whatever excuses you have about staying in your hermit mode and being isolated and being alone or being really heavy in like focus work mode, right? Not enjoying yourself, like not having fun, not testing the boundaries, not testing your life boundaries, your life limits, the possibilities of reality, what can happen, right? Like if you're not daring to try life, then how are you gonna get anything remotely close to the sun? You gotta get to the sun. You gotta fly there. You gotta fly there. You have the wings to do it. You've just been sitting on it because you went through a lot of shit, and that's very understandable, but you're done healing it. And I'm not saying like run out the door, be reckless, but take your time, be pacing whatever you need, but I feel like you pacing sometimes keeps you away from moving forward, and sometimes being wild a little bit with your passions and just going there and enjoying it is the right thing, If you need to go through a focus weekend of just doing the stuff you like to then a focus week, 5 days of resting and recuperating, right? And then that's the process you're gonna go through and do for a while until you're like, oh shit, like this isn't as difficult anymore. This is not a hard like routine or schedule, or I can't hold it down as a routine or a schedule, right? But like it's not hard getting out doing it and then coming back and sorting my own life out or balancing my well-being and lifestyle out in that case and sense. So, yeah. So many wings and angel things. Oh my fucking God, I swear. If any of you were doubting this, there's no way you have nothing to do with this energy. You, you are very much connected with angels, man. Like so, so, so fucking much. If you ever have like a weird feeling on your back, I don't see we feel a back, but like on the topper bit, right? Like where the wings would be, you are feeling your wings, your wings. If you've been feeling that for a while, then even more so, this is kind of confirmation on that part. But you have guides, you have angels protecting you. You are being led to actually being on cloud nine and enjoying your dreams, desires, or the vibes you like and you were seeking out in life and you never found, right? You're the one that's going to provide, like you're gonna shine that so much that anyone and everyone out there right now will find you, and it wasn't the time previously, but they will find you now. Just go out there and do it. And don't be afraid of how you show up, just live it, just accept it. It'll be good for it. Something about like a masculine is coming through, but also Archangel Michael. you changing your perception and understanding about you, how you lived, and what the point of it was, and where it is safe or good to live right now, and what it is safe and good to do right now. If you go past that, right, if you shift your perception and seek deeper understanding, or like let down of the walls you built up mentally and emotionally to protect yourself from this ever happening again, or breaking you down or upsetting you, if you shift your perception towards being more open or being leaning into that like fiery youthfulness you've had, right? Or that excitement, that interest, that passion, that weirdness, that quirkiness, that odd creativity, or even just those random ideas you get throughout the day. I should really try and like film that short. I should really try and post that blog. I should really like make that Reddit thing. I should really start crafting stuff in my garage. I should really redecorate my house on my own instead of wishing I could find a cheap redecorator. I should really get that part-time job. I should really do this, right? Or really want to, more so than I should, but I'm talking about the extreme end of like when once you get to a point where it repeats so much that you hear should instead of like, oh, I could or I want to or I need to or whatever it is, right? You get to that point of like, oh, you should do it, but then yeah, it's just the extreme of it of like you already have input on what to do next. Go and do it. You're just holding yourself back, you know? There's nothing else happening here. And the perception might just shift with you doing it. It might be that you need to shift your perception before doing it. Whichever it is, go. You're ready. It's time. You're lucky. Everything's gonna work out. Don't hold yourself back. I think that is all. Gentle joy, good vibes, and complementary colors. Yeah, I'm gonna say we're done. I'm gonna say that we've gotten to the conclusion of this reading. And yeah, thank you so much. I hope this helps. I hope that this was fun and interesting. This has turned out to be more of a pep talk about you in general than why people love you, but people do love you for this uniqueness and weirdness and you standing out and having this energy, regardless of how your life goes or what you do with it. And even if you upset people by being yourself, right? Ultimately, this is always going to be the reason that they love you, and it's not ever going to be going away. And you will always have people around you that really show you how appreciative, good, cool, and unique you are. And, you know, you've already been through the worst of the people. Now you can actually like accept the new that's coming in with people that are going to be of the same vibe maybe, you know, maybe they're just going to be good for you to keep being this so they can keep loving on you. This can play out different ways, but this is what you know, people love you for. I appreciate you getting this reading and just spending your time here. And if you want to share your story, you can do that in the comments section below. And if not, there's also just some buttons you can press there to support my channel, which I really appreciate. Thank you. And yeah, I also have a link tree where you can find my Twitch and other things. I do live readings and live chats about spirituality a lot of the time with those readings that are live. And I sometimes play games and talk about life philosophy, spirituality. So yeah, if that interests you, nice. If not, whatever. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time.